It's good. Um, my name is GiulianoArgenti, and the thing about betting advice is that, like, the best advice, is to not gamble, as I've said, right? But let's skip all of that, right? I mean, don't gamble. I encourage you not to and all that, right? But let me tell you why. You're probably not, you know, profiting overall. As a professional gambler, there is really only one way to look at gambling, and the problem with the people that you may watch on YouTube who claim to be professional gamblers, who may not claim to be professional gamblers, who, avoid that question and simply shell out bets, prop bets, and, etc. Now, prop bets, honestly, are mostly only useful, we're talking about MMA specifically, mostly only useful in, in a live betting situation, but I mean, there are exceptions. You can parlay prop bets, etc. But the bottom line is this, right? No matter what, all these guys that are telling you how to bet, telling you what bets to make, the best underdog pick, etc., right? The reason that they're not doing, what they're telling you to do for a living, right? Which is to gamble and all that, right? It's because they don't know what they're actually doing. The bigger picture, right? You have to look at the entity of gambling. Las Vegas, betting sites, all of it. You have to look at it as, as the evil, sucking, parasitic organism that it is. And you have to recognize the fact that it wins its battles with most people, right? Most people don't stand a chance, right? They will get addicted to gambling, and even if they don't, even if they gambled the one time that they had a work meeting in Las Vegas, okay, they'll lose, right? So you have to look at gambling as a challenge, okay? You have to look at it as a challenge, not as like a, hey, I might make some fucking money if I throw fucking $50 on this fucking plus 4,000 underdog, right? That's not looking at it like a challenge. You have to take it on, right? You have to take it on intelligently and methodically, okay? Because if you succeed, okay, what you've done is you have not only elevated yourself above 99 point whatever percent of people who try to gamble successfully, okay, but you've used your mind and you've found the weaknesses in a very strong, powerful, huge conglomerate, okay, that is designed to fuck you out of your money, your hard-earned money, or your parents' money, or whatever the fuck you are playing games with, okay? Like, basically, look at it as an attempted conquest and a denial of, of like just rejection of, being owned and being stolen from, okay? Like, if you're listening to this, right, if you didn't turn this off after the first 12 seconds where I said, hey, don't gamble. I advise you not to, okay? You're gonna gamble regardless, okay? So listen to me, okay? You're going to war if you gamble, okay? Alright? You're going to war. You're going to war with an institution, alright? And you're most likely gonna lose unless you actually dial in and focus and think about things and understand things, okay? Information is currency, okay? Information is currency. The house edge will always exist. They got you by the balls right from the jump, okay? How do you take some power back, alright? How do you take some power back? You figure out how to remove the house edge as best as possible, okay? That is no more salient, okay? $5 word for you. Salient just means important, okay? There's no more important in any arena of sports betting than in MMA. The most difficult sport to consistently make money off of. When I say consistently, I mean no losing weekends. Anyone tells you, hey, you win some, lose some, of course we're going to have some losing weekends. That's not a professional, okay? Professional doesn't have a losing weekend, alright? It doesn't happen, okay? Imagine in any other line of work. Like, how many losing weekends do you think a fucking scientist has before the lab blows up? Alright? How many losing surgeries do you think a surgeon or a doctor can perform before they're fucking out on their ass and they're stripped of their license? You get me? Alright? You have to understand and commit to actually focusing, okay? If you're too lazy for that, guess what? Say goodbye to your money. Oh, well, I only put $1 on it. Yeah, add up even the fucking $1 to $5 that you throw away every weekend on a never gonna happen underdog parlay, right? And how much is it? What, $40-$50? If instead of throwing that money away, you took $50, okay, and made a round robin parlay, guess what? You're gonna win, okay? More than likely, okay, than any other method, okay? Now, oh, well, the payout, but guess what? You take that money, you turn it into more. You take that more money, you turn it into more, okay? Sooner or later, you're putting certain percentages of the money you're making aside and building savings, okay? You stay methodical, okay? And listen to me, you will give yourself the highest possible chance of not only removing the house edge, protecting your money, and at the very least breaking even plus profit, but you will also give yourself the highest possible payout, okay? As well as the highest probability of attaining that payout, okay? People tell you, oh, the highest possible payout's over $1 million, okay, for only $2 on this 15 leg, parlay that includes props and fucking, a bunch of other bullshit, right? Yeah, well, good luck, man. Good luck. Alright? Call me when you need a loan. I might give it to you, probably not. You get me? Alright? With an average of $1,400 out per UFC card, okay? Like, I make anywhere from high 4 figures to, if I sweep a card, as I did on the Morales Burns card, a handsome amount of money, relatively low six figures, off of 15,000 or 1,500 rather, 1,500. Now, this is the thing, right? I make a lot more off soccer, but this isn't a soccer channel. Okay, you guys are betting on MMA, all right? But you guys are betting at all. What that means is that, once again, you're taking something on, all right? Like, this is hard. This isn't easy. You have to use your brain, okay? I mean, and not even you like that. What I'm here for is to help you understand that, but also to make it less intense, to take the edge off, okay? So you don't even have to think that fucking hard. Honestly, you just have to follow my orders. But but I try to, I try not to disrespect the intelligence of people when it comes to things like this. All right. So try to think of it like this institution, okay? This organism, all right, that I'm using to lay my bets with. It wants to fuck me out of my money. It wants to steal from me, okay? And I'm gonna do everything I can, okay, to not only not let that happen, but to take its money, okay? That's the game. That's the challenge, all right? If you think you can just walk in and do that without any thought, without understanding the mechanics of it, go for it. Try. Tell me about your prop parlay. Tell me about your over/under bets. We'll see where you are in a month. We'll see where I am. Not just me. There are others like me. Now, I'm not flexing with that. I'm just trying to give you a way of looking at things that increases your chances of profit. Real profit, okay? And real profit starts with reducing the possibility of loss. So, I'm not going to do a round robin breakdown and explanation and tutorial because it is, as titled, the last minute, more or less. But I will do a full round robin explanation video for those of you that are newer to the channel. For now, I'm going to give you the round robins, okay? This card, I had 5 definite, okay? But those 5 definite included Austin Bashi, and the line on Austin Bashi is abhorrently ridiculous. I'm looking at minus 800s, minus 950 was the highest one I saw. So a 5-way round robin ain't gonna cut it, right? Because you need to be able to, a round robin parlay, basically you need to be able to even lose 1 or 2 of them and still not lose money overall, right? So I needed a 6th, and I was torn between, let's see, should I have this up? Now the thing is, about the lines is that they do shift a little bit, but you're dealing with the same basic arenas, right? So anyway, I was torn on the 6th and 7th here. Actually, let me give you the first 5. There are so I decided to go with 7 round robins on this card. Similar to how I went with 8 on the Process Gary card, and all 8 hit. Which, obviously was the best case scenario round robin wise. Got the main event wrong, but I didn't like process. I want that rematch to happen so badly. Anyway, so round robins are Tatsuro Taira to beat Hyun-Sung Park. Kevin Vallejos to beat Danny Silva. Rinya Nakamura, despite his faltering performance in his last fight, Rinya Nakamura to beat Nathan Fletcher. Austin Bashi to beat John Yanis. Rafael Estevam to beat Felipe Muniz. Now those are 5. Like I said, I was torn for 6, so I was torn between Rodolfo Vieira to beat Trajan Gore and Esteban Rivovic to beat Elvis Brenner. So what I decided to do is put them both on there, right? So what you're going to do, hopefully, is you're going to make a 7-leg parlay, okay? You're going to take Tatsuro Taira to beat Hyun-Sung Park. Esteban Rivovic to beat Elvis. My mouth is dry, Jesus. Tatsuro Taira to beat Hyun-Sung Park. Esteban Rivovic to beat Elvis Brenner. Kevin Vallejos to beat Danny Silva. Rinya Nakamura to beat Nathan Fletcher. Rodolfo Vieira to beat Trajan Gore. Austin Bashi to beat John Yanis. And Rafael Estevam to beat Felipe Muniz. Okay? 7-leg parlay. You're going to select round robin, okay, instead of a single parlay. And you're going to select round robin 4s. Okay? I strongly encourage you to listen to what I just said. And please, for the love of God, do it on either betus.com or Cheerio.com. Now, you can go.